Welcome home to USA Global TV and Radio, a place where dreams take flight, with authentic storytelling, diverse perspectives and meaningful conversations, where global stories unite and bridges are built beyond all borders. Discover world-class education, entertainment, hope and inspiration. Together, we're building bridges worldwide. Subscribe to our channel, USA Global TV. Download our app, USA Global TV. Be our guest or join our team. Visit usaglobaltv.com. Thanks to our founder and executive producer, Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Music score by Yeffy Tang from Cloud Road Music. Voiceover artist Mike Porter. Creative direction by Paul Garcia. USA Global TV and Radio, your home for global connection. All rights reserved. This video and its contents are the exclusive property of USA Global TV and Radio. Unauthorized use, duplication or redistribution in any form is strictly prohibited.
Howdy y'all. Red Laughlin here. We're on the Wise Ones on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. And today is one of those shows that I've been trying to set up for a long time. My guest is Russ Johns. He used to be here in the Houston area with us, and I've told him this in person and many times. This is well before COVID. We'll get into some of the reasons down the road, but I always considered Russ one of those technological entities that could provide more value per hour than any other person that I've ever known. He just has so much to put out, and he does it in such an easy manner. So with that, to start the show today, go ahead and let's bring out bring out Russ Johns. You should be a doctor with all the information that he has.
I love you. I love you, Red. I appreciate the compliment, and I want to recognize that the fact that you're doing this, and it's amazing. I wanted to make sure that I acknowledge that and recognize what you're doing is amazing, and it's important to do. Your mentorship and the things you're doing is so valuable. I just want to recognize that.
Well, thank you. I just want to recognize that you have a great haircut also.
No hair, don't care.
Now, back when I knew you, you didn't have that extra 6 or 7 or 8 inches worth of hair hanging down. So
yeah.
There must be a reason for that, but it doesn't matter. We don't have to go that direction. But I know when you were here in Houston, we were constantly being bombarded with all sorts of new technological deals. Hey, you can do this now. You can do that. Have you even thought about this? And I was just, you and Marion, I guess, are probably the two that teamed up a lot. And it's just amazing. I'd leave that. And, whoa, not only do I know about it, I know about it enough to actually use it. And that, I think, is the crux of having somebody who knows their job, knows the technology or the application well enough that when you're done talking to them, they actually have the ability and the confidence to go try something. And that is, if I had to put anything on you whatsoever, you're way up there at the top of that list of your abilities to make something technically complex easier to understand, but even easier to say, well, let me try it. And that's something that I've always admired about you. But let me go ahead and bring the audience up to date so they kind of have a little bit of feeling. You used to be in the Houston area well before COVID, and you moved to Arizona to take care of your parents, right?
Yeah. Dad had dementia, and Mom was in, she's COPD and on oxygen and on a walker. So, but Dad passed on in 2020, and almost the age of 92, and Mother passed in December 30th of this year, and died of just passed away from she's been ill for a little while, but she died at home, and it was it was good. My sister was here, and uh, it was just next chapter in the book of life. That's what I look at it. So it's just like, okay,
I know
the,
you know. I know you know the lieutenant governor of Texas, Dan Patrick. He used to have
yeah,
a radio show here, and I remember him talking. His dad was on the deathbed and in hospice and whatever, and he was talking periodically about it. And one day he brought up, he says, you know, I just we have had it up to here with everything. And he says, you
yeah,
know, I called my dad and I says, Dad, don't worry about it. We got it. And literally 10 minutes later, his dad died. And I
that's what it was.
and so my dad was in a situation like that, and I talked to him almost every day. And some days he could grunt, some days he couldn't. And then just one day I decided, Dad, we got mom. Don't worry about her. Everything's under control. And I get a call back 30 minutes later saying he passed.
Yeah,
So people need that. Okay, I no longer have to take care of somebody else. My mom was a little bit different. She just wouldn't give up and just
yeah,
hung on. And but again, we're all a little different, and we have the ability. I know taking care of somebody with dementia is absolutely that's a job for 10 people.
yeah.
It's just very very difficult for one. But now you also had another problem too, with a bit of a stroke or something.
Yeah, December 1st, last year, I guess it was 2023, December 1st. I woke up, I had a meeting for a client meeting, and all of a sudden it's just like I couldn't communicate. And it was interesting because the power went out as well. So I walked out to the fuse box and just like everything's in, it's like nothing's kicked. And it's like the only thing I could say was, you know, cool. It's like I couldn't talk. My mom was in the house. She said, "Are you okay?" I Yeah. I just like I went outside and but the cleaning lady came out. She wanted to be asked some questions. I was out there for a while, and she said, "I think he's having a stroke." So she loaded me up in the hospital. It was a mile away, and I was admitted to the hospital for a stroke. And the only thing I could say is cool. It's like I couldn't speak, I couldn't type, I forgot my passwords, I couldn't remember my phone number. I can you It's the communication. It's like I know it, but I can't communicate it. So it's so that 2024 was dumpster fires. So just building up back my skills and abilities, because I have it in my head, but communicating it is difficult sometimes. So it's it's a way to uh, build back.
Well, I am super happy that you decided to join us today, stroke induced or not. You're functional and ready to share some value with us. I lost almost 5 months. I'd say 5 months of 2024 due to shingles, just
Mm,
severe pain for a couple 3 months and brain fog for another couple months after that. And I have a very slight appreciation for what you're going through because I could function, but I couldn't remember things as clearly as I wanted. I'm still not 100% there, but I know that I am a whole lot better than I was a month, 2 months ago. But you used
absolutely.
to do pirate radio, is that right?
Yeah, the pirate broadcast. I was originally one of the StreamYard producers. I did StreamYard. I produced over 1,000 shows, and talked on the Pirates broadcast with like 600 episodes, and it was daily, Monday through Friday at 7 a.m. And was just talking to people just like this, and interesting people doing interesting things. And it would it, it would be uh, so many connections, and so many relationships, so many things that we can do all together. It's like re, re, so many people are like they have stories. I want to build a story and create something that could help more people, and it's like, what can we do? What can we achieve? What kind of results that we can apply? And the pirate broadcast was one of those things that I have, and it's brought me back to, like, I was in Houston, we're doing the re- live streaming um, um, the football games and the baseball games from high school sports, and um, 2 a.m. radio. And so they have we had I had the mechanism to do that. I had the skills to do that. So helping people out is a way to actually tell a story, make sure that we can actually communicate and relate to each other. Like I said, kindness is cool and smiles are free.
The pirate radio program that you produce with StreamYard, is that something that you could give us the URL on, so that if people wanted to go back and look at some of the programs that you did with some of your guests, that it would be easy to find?
Yeah, you can, if you type in Russell Johns, and there you can also create a lot of links. I'm popular in LinkedIn. I have YouTube channel, and we can. I can share that information for in the show notes if you want to.
Yeah, I was trying to bring something up so that we would have a way for people to go look at the program, because it's of immense value. I've looked at more than a couple of them because I really liked the guests that you had on and the information that was being talked about.
Yeah,
So from even from
appreciate it.
our even from our perspective here at the USA Global TV and Radio Network, we have an archive on YouTube, and I think Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck has 58 shows that she has available on a weekly basis that can be activated. I do 3 shows on a Thursday,
Uh-huh.
but depending on the nature of it, some people only do a show once a month. Other shows are kind of ad hoc, but there's just a lot of shows that have value depending on what you're interested in. If you're interested in the royal family, she has a lot of it there. If you're interested in United Kingdom, if
Yeah.
you're, we have one person who is a dog psychic or an animal psychic. We
Uh-huh.
have another one that wrote a book on how to care for Alzheimer's, because she took care of 4 different people in her family with it, and she wrote an exceptionally very good selling book on being able to care for people. So we have a lot of different people out there with different backgrounds. So depending on what your need is, again, from an awareness and education perspective, that's there. And I wanted to make sure we told people about your pirate radio program, and a lot of value there. Just
Yeah. And also, I want to share that Next Step Next was my original agency, and I did that in 2002. It started at 2002, and you go to nextstepnext.com and read my origin story. It tells me a lot of my adventures in the just life, and I think it'd be valuable for some people to read it and make sure that they're they're um, getting a feel for what I can do, where I come from, and also what I believe in. Because help more people, Red, and that's that. You know me. As long as we know each other, I'm always willing to help anyone out, and it make sure that they have a way to tell their story, a way to communicate, and a way to relate to each other in the relationships.
Well, I think it's interesting that when we're telling a story, it's not the same thing as doing a presentation. So if I was
Yeah,
doing a presentation today on health and wellness, which I'll be doing next hour, I'm talking about dieting today. But when you do a presentation, that's a professorial style of
yeah,
talking to an audience. But when we're having a conversation, he says, "Hey, Russ, remember back when?" And we just kind of meander through the mental weeds of thoughts that happened to us back then. And the presentation is different. When I tell people about how to write a book, I usually start as
yeah,
an interview style. Well, tell me about the
yeah,
first car you ever had.
yeah,
People can do some things so easy they don't even think about it. So if you structure things as a story, and the stories are what really sells because those are the really interesting parts of your life.
yeah.
I tell people about a car I had. Well, going over the high bridge in Corpus Christi, all of a sudden everything just went crazy and clunk, clunk, clunk. And I'm coming to a stop and my left rear tire is passing me going down the other side of the bridge. And so you add those extra little stories in there and
Yeah,
it just captures. So here's my historical biograph, whatever, and then here's a story, and then here's another story. People
yeah.
remember stories. And when
People
you
remember the story. I,
have
I
that,
have I had to tell you a story that relates to you and I. And this this coin, uh, you gave me this coin as a birthday present. Uh, in 2017, we were in a Mexican restaurant, and I don't remember the name of it, but I kept this coin uh, in my pocket continually since uh, 2017, and just remind you, my every time I see it, it reminds me of you and the 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 relationship that we have, and uh, the time that we spent on meetings or med work or sessions that we did together. So I appreciate it, that story, and I wanted to share with you.
oh, thanks very much. I was at a Christmas party at my eye doctor's place and they had a Santa Claus. And
Yeah.
so over there in Santa Claus, what do you want for Christmas? Santa asked me. And I says, well, I got a coin, had a New Orleans mint mark on it. But says, I've looked at all my coins. I've been a coin collector forever. I said, I would love to have a coin that had a Carson City mint mark on it because I don't have one of those yet. And he whipped into his pocket and pulled out a coin exactly like you have right there, a silver dollar. And he says, a silver dollar like this. And he handed it to me. And I said,
Oh,
yes, he did.
wow.
And he says, and I said, yes, it doesn't have the CC mark on it, but it's a magnificent gift, especially from Santa Claus,
Yeah.
because instantly I expressed a need for a coin with a particular mint mark. Well, he didn't have that mint mark, but he gave me a coin, and
Yeah.
and I okay. I don't usually get my Christmas gifts answered that quickly, especially when it's something as weird as a coin. So,
Yeah.
but again, that's a little story, and that story
Yeah.
will remain with people. Santa reached in his pocket and pulled out my gift. Whoa,
Yeah. Yeah.
that doesn't
It,
happen.
it's amazing what you can tell. You communicate with stories. It's amazing. So I just want to share with you that story with you.
Well, thank you. When you moved out to Arizona, you had to develop a new audience. You had to take care of people. Uh,
Yeah.
that I'm going to use the word trauma in a light sense because you had an established network back in Houston. You were constantly at this event. You were holding your own. You were. It just seemed like you were all over the place.
Yeah.
There, you had different responsibilities of taking care of people and also having to earn a living, so to speak.
Hmm.
Was there some new technology or something new that you learned out there in Arizona that you've since developed and are using now?
Yeah. I uh, I'm a huge fan of video, and I think uh, video is so much based on my storytelling, and I use a technology called DUBB.com. Dub is you can actually lovemydub.com is my lovemydub.com is one of my domains, and through that I did uh, invitations to people that were on the pirate broadcast. So when I started the pirate broadcast uh, uh, years ago, I had my person invitations go out through Dub, and you can do it with your email. You could do it with uh, the LinkedIn messages, and you can communicate, uh, and it goes to a landing page that communicates what you're looking for, what you have, or what what you have, or what um, you offer, and through that style, I taught a lot of classes with that. Did personal invitations to consult, and I have a lot of sales teams build up the uh, month, methods to actually move their uh, business to get out to get uh, video in the marketplace. And video is a way you can actually uh, make sure that people see you. They build awareness, and they build a lot of visibility. And it's a way to trust people that you're speaking there. So I love video. Dub was a way to actually do that. So I have uh, built a nice business for video, and I love the fact that we can actually uh, use video to actually highlight some of the founders or solopreneurs or freelancers that we can actually develop uh, more visibility, more authority, and uh, um, get some traction on the social medias.
Well, It's interesting because I've always advocated to business owners that if you want credibility, write a book, be an author. So that way you're established as an authority in that area. The video does the same thing, except you don't have to invest a lot of time and money. If I want a 3-minute video that talks about some aspect of my business,
Yeah.
do that, and I can post it on my website, or I can do whatever I want. I can attach it, send it somewhere. So to me, I think that's an enhanced version of credibility, establishment, reputation, marketing, so to speak.
Yeah.
So that's what you're doing now. But as an author, if I wanted to employ you to do a trailer for one of my books, what would I have to do in order to do that?
Just go to the next step next and book at the top of your page, book me, and we can have a conversation and outline what your goals are, what your mission is, and what you're trying to produce, and then we could come up with a plan and execute it. It's simple as that. So you can always go to bookruss.com and just connect with me. So,
Okay, so the aspect is not only do you do the video, you know why I want the video done,
yeah,
so that you can tailor the end result to marry up and align with my needs.
yeah.
Now, let me take that to the next part of my question.
Okay.
How do you use AI at all in what you're doing, or is this all intuitive within your own formatting and product creation?
Well, I use AI as a tool for creating, but I also here's a there, you can't use it across the board. You have to make sure that you have a strategy and a purpose and a mission of what you accomplish, and make sure that it aligns with your goals, and make like storytelling. Um, uh, then you have a element of storytelling, why you created the book, why the purpose of the book, who does it help, and you can actually create some elements that, because uh, AI doesn't factor in the creative elements. It's getting better, but it's the things you have to uh, tell the AI what you want. And if you don't have a strategy, then it's like, okay, it could be anything. But so build a strategy, build build your story, and create the things that highlight you and your book and your authority to create the best outcome.
I know that, as you mentioned, you have to craft it, but you have to understand what AI words mean. I remember
Yeah.
the first time I pulled up a couple of chapters of my book and I said edit. All of a sudden, I had 28 pages go down to 2 paragraphs. And I said, okay, well, that's not the right word to use. And so, as now I have a paragraph that's about 4 sentences, that when I put this in and say, do this to this, it'll actually go there and do what I want to have done. So
Yeah.
you just can't tell AI in our common vocabulary what to do. You have to carefully script the directions that you want the AI to go in.
Yeah.
But I've also seen some little excerpts about a year ago on one of the programs I was on, and it said, let's take a story, as you're saying. Here's a young woman, early 20s, tall, svelte, red dress, Japanese descent, downtown Tokyo at night, light rain, very little traffic, and have her walk across the street. And voila, in less than 2 minutes, here's this exact story
Yeah.
happening visually in front of me that was all created by AI. And they said, well, let's change the dress to yellow. Boom, it happened. And
Yeah.
so the capability is there, but you have to know how to talk to it and use it as a tool. As you said, it's a tool.
Yeah.
And
It's in prompt. You have to engineer the prompts to get the result you want to. And you do it just like an editor. You have a book, an editor, you can you can actually use for ideas. You can actually use AI to craft me a couple ideas on this subject, and then craft me maybe uh, a short story, and then you can build the short story ideas, and then use your own voice, use your own vocabulary, and make sure that it fits your voice. But it's a way to actually create ideas, and so you don't have to create a blanket piece of paper. It's like staring at a blank piece of paper or the keyboard. It's like uh, just use it for ideation, and make sure that it's uh, it's works for you, and not have you do the work.
I had a client last year, a book client, and he knew what he wanted for a cover on his book. And he described to me, I went on AI and I had
Mhm.
5 different book covers designed based on his one
Yeah,
paragraph of information.
yeah,
And he said, I like number 2 and number 3. So I took those
yeah,
and sent those to Fiverr.com. And I said, here is the rest of the story. Here is what my client likes. Create me a book cover, actually 2. I want to see 2 different book covers. And so I got 2 different ebook covers for, $5, $8 a piece, whatever it was. And
yeah,
we came back, okay, this is what he liked. He really liked that one a lot. So we took and made that one the PDF version for his paperback and kept the other one as the ebook cover. So here's
yeah,
a case where it was a tool. We took his vision, created something that, okay, that's pretty close, and
mhm,
then turned it over to somebody with an artistic talent to say, that's a basis. That's the baseline. Let's enhance it to what we really want and expect. And that's kind of what you're doing, right?
yeah, exactly. Uh, and it's you know, uh, you you get better at the prompts. You get more uh, articulate. Be you uh, improve the outcome. It's like garbage in, garbage out. It doesn't have to be that way. You could craft the structure of what you want, and it's like an editor. It's like or something. It's like I don't know what that's like. Not that that's not what I want. Try again. Try again. It's like okay, try again. Then you can manipulate it. And also, as an author, you I don't know how many books are you up to right now, but it's like uh, it's a, you craft the story, and each time you uh, have an idea, it builds on the ideas you already have, and then it could build up, and then sometimes you have new ideas because you have to actually uh, you can actually have uh, uh, an idea that you didn't think about earlier. So you could craft that idea, and it's iterate the message uh, ad nauseum. You could do it.
Okay, so
Yeah,
if I
all the
wanted
time.
if I wanted to take a product that I have, regardless of whatever product or service,
Mhm.
and wanted to do a dozen 1 minute video segments and put those on social media and use that as part of my marketing campaign.
Mhm.
I can, over time, accumulate enough knowledge to do it competently myself,
Mhm.
but I have to understand what's going on and why things happen the way they do to get an end result. Otherwise, I just have a garbage in, garbage out, as you said,
Yeah.
because it's more than just doing it. It's understanding why you're doing it and what the result you want to impart in somebody else's viewing of that video. Now I can write the book. Here's the page. Boom. Those are the words. People
Yeah.
interpret the words, but the video hits people differently. It's a different part of the brain, and so it's a
Mhm.
little more technically challenging, but it's not something that's insurmountable. Now, if
Yeah.
all I'm doing is answering a question for you and that's being put on social media, it's genuine me because I'm answering a question. But
It,
if I'm
it,
trying,
al-
go ahead.
it also, we, I think a lot of people don't understand that they have a story. They have a story to tell. And as well as I do, everybody has a story. The challenge is, do they want to share their story, or they want to make sure that it's available to others as a mentor, or instructions, or uh, family heirloom? What's your goal? What are you trying to accomplish in the end result, and what you wanted to do with the story? Sometimes it's just a story. You know, you know, everybody sells a story, but they don't have the tools to articulate that. And when you write a book, it's always, um, you have to be clear on the message. And AI tends to bring clarity. Video brings clarity on. If you do, you're speaking clarity, and your ideas become clear. So it's a way to build your strategy to actually bring clarity.
One of the projects I have coming up, in fact, this weekend, we're going to my first great grandson's birthday party. He's 1 year
Wow.
old. And I want to do a video with my wife where we just talk about our lives and do in 12, 15-minute segments where they're not too long, but
Mhm.
probably do it on Zoom or something where I can get the MP4 file and just
Yeah.
accumulate these files, label them accordingly. And that's something that, when he gets older, okay, here's your great grandparents and their stories of what they went through.
Yeah.
So that,
What?
that's a project for me.
Yeah. What was the first job you remember? It's like, what was your experience in the first job that you remember?
What did you do in the war, Daddy?
Yeah. Yeah. What do you do in the war? Uh, and it's important for people to understand, because that's what builds relationships. That's what builds community. And then it's a gift. If you don't want to share it, that's tragic, for my opinion. And uh, storytelling and video is, authors, doing written word is just like, it's magic. So we need to make sure we can promote it, and invite people to have their story told. Help more people. Help more people.
Okay, if I were able to, I would give you a hug because we're at the end of the show, and I know hugs are free,
Yes.
smiles are free. Next step, next. Three
Yeah.
individual words, no hyphens, no dots, no nothing. Nextstepnext.com. And then
Yeah.
you have slash social. Uh,
Yeah.
but that is your primary way to contact you if somebody's interested in doing a video.
Uh, Next step. Next. I wanted to. Uh, it's simple, easy. Next step. Next. You can follow it. The idea, but I wanted to make sure that people have a way to actually uh, tell their story tell the founder story. Make sure that you can share it, re-interview people, and then create social media posts, their founder story for the website, their marketing material, anything that they need to. It brings trust and brings a visibility, and also make sure that we have something that going, something that can build on and achieve results.
Well, Russ, thank you so very much for today, because we're at the end of our broadcast time. Always appreciate your guidance. You're in an area now that I know very little about, is video editing and video creation. It's an area that I want to know more about, and probably will if you were here in town.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'd be having lunch and you'd be telling me how to do things that I could do myself. But right now, I'm just happy and content that you're doing well. You're smiling, which I think is great. With all the adversity you've had over the last few years, that's a major accomplishment. So congratulations to you for overcoming some major life hurdles.
Yeah.
And I look forward to us getting together again, because there's a lot of opportunities here on the USA Global TV and Radio Network to do that.
Well, I'm moving back to Texas, so maybe I can catch up with in person again.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, I as well. But thank you so much for having me on the program, and producers, everything. It's great to connect. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Russ, and I look forward to our next meeting, hopefully in person. So take care, Senor, and enjoy life the best you can.
Yeah.
This is Red O'Loughlin signing off on the Wise Ones today on the USA Global TV and Radio Network. My next show, starting in about 17 minutes, is called Talking Heads. And my theme today is, what would I do? Well, the topic today is dieting. Not exactly what you might think about dieting, because I'm taking it a slightly different direction, but what would I do? And the topic is dieting. And there's a lot of things with regard to dieting that maybe we think about, maybe we don't, maybe something's worked before, but that's my story, and I'm sticking with it. So with that being said, I'm going to say goodbye, catch you all next week, and have fun, enjoy. And if you can, join me here in just a few minutes on Talking Heads. I'd love to see you. Take care. Bye now.
Have you ever felt unheard? Like your words float into a void, leaving you invisible and disconnected? How about feeling judged, when assumptions overshadow your truth, leaving you misunderstood and defensive? And then there's that moment when someone offers solutions you never asked for, dismissing your feelings and leaving you more frustrated than before. It doesn't have to be this way. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck, the listening mentor, understands. She's here to help you reclaim your voice, build stronger connections, and create meaningful conversations that inspire understanding and mutual respect. Through her groundbreaking books, online and in-person courses, and interactive workshops, you'll learn how to navigate life's most challenging interactions. Discover the power of elevated listening and transform how you communicate. Master setting boundaries and asking permission to protect your peace. Learn to recognize and release judgment, fostering empathy and true connection. Dr. Kerbeck also offers personalized coaching, one-on-one or group sessions, designed to fit your unique needs. Whether in person or virtually on StreamYard, her guidance will empower you to thrive. You don't have to struggle alone. The path to deeper connections and better relationships start here. Visit drjacqueline.com or usaglobaltv.com. Join a global community of empowered listeners and transform your life, one meaningful conversation at a time. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor. Start your journey today. In a world full of noise, misunderstandings, and interruptions, Master the Art of Listening with Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck. Dr. Jacqueline Kerbeck is the listening mentor of USA Global TV and Radio and the Amazon #1 best-selling author of Mastering the Power of Elevated Listening. Elevate your listening. Elevate your life. Join a global learning experience in person or via Zoom. Reserve your spot today. usaglobaltv.com/book-your-session or drjacqueline.thinkific.com. Join Dr. Kerbeck's listening courses or hire her to unlock deeper connections and authentic conversations.